We're welcoming in Joel Norman. He's the owner of Luminary Distilling. They're getting ready for their third annual Apple Cider Festival. And why not celebrate apple cider? Because you're keeping that local tradition alive up at Luminary.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Kara and Amanda, for giving me the chance to come on and talk about our products and our Cider Fest.
Absolutely. There's nothing that says fall like cider. I mean, and you've been pressing for what, a couple weeks now?
Well, so our first presses for the fall season were September 7th, and we bottled on the 8th, and we were ready for sales on the 9th. But it's really, it takes getting, I guess, a little bit colder weather before it really kicks into gear, and people truly get excited about the
and you guys are keeping that tradition of Furman's cider alive. How long have you been doing that?
Yeah, so cider pressing is really a labor of love. When my wife and I first moved into where Furman's location is, it's a tradition worth keeping alive. And so Erie looks forward to it. It's something that we're excited about. And it's kind of an unofficial start of fall, I guess, even though it's not quite fall yet. But we're getting there. It really is a labor of love, and I guess some traditions are worth keeping alive.
Labor of love, emphasis on labor?
Yeah. So it's incredibly labor intensive, and it's I think it's worth the product, but it's like anything, nothing that's not hard work is worth doing.
And this really isn't something that you do year round, right? It's just a seasonal process.
It's very seasonal. So from about early September through maybe a week or two after Christmas, we try and get most of our pressing done by Christmas time.
Okay.
I guess for one of two reasons. One, it really keeps the seasonal part of it alive that we don't offer it the entire year. But the other is because really, I don't think some of the things that we make should be offered if it's not in season. So we get our apples locally from some of the farms in Northeast, and if they can't grow the apples, maybe we shouldn't be pressing apples, right? From wherever you could get them imported in. We find it worthwhile to get them from a local source.
And the press that you guys are using is how old?
Oh, it's very old equipment.
But it's original.
Yes. Well, Furman's has been around since 1896, some version of it. And I'm not sure what kind of presses they were using 127 years ago or so. But the kind that we have, the hydraulic presses that we have, are at least 50 to 80 years old. They're not new equipment, but it adds a certain authenticity to it.
Absolutely.
I certainly think.
Well, let's take a little taste test, because we opened one of the smaller bottles.
Yeah. So
this is about as fresh as it gets, right?
Yes, we just bottled this, I believe, yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And what you're tasting are apples from two farms in Northeast. They're from Birch and Post Farms that are up in Northeast. And it's a combination of relatively early season apples of our maybe things like Ginger Gold, Jersey Mac, Paula Red. There are all these apple varieties that exist out there.
So then as that changes, will the cider taste change a little bit?
Yeah, so throughout the season, you're going to see the cider change in color and a little bit of texture and some flavor.
Interesting, yeah.
We've gotten much better at blending the right apple varieties to make sure it's not just too sweet or just too tart or maybe not the right color. So we make sure we blend the right varieties together.
Well, let's make sure we talk about the Cider Festival before we run out of time.
Oh,
yeah, we should. Yeah, that's coming up on Saturday, and it's really celebrating all things cider, all things fall, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be September 30th.
Okay.
And this is our third annual Cider Fest that we've done. And it's at 8270 Peach Street at our location. And we do everything from having vendors to having a specialty simplified menu for people coming in. We do cider slushies. We've got simple things like hot dogs, but it's a fun family thing to bring anybody of different ages up, right? So we're talking about little kids are welcome. I mean, sometimes when they hear distillery, they think, oh, I can't go. No, families are very, very welcome to it, and we try and create an environment where it's very approachable.
And you do have a nice outdoor area up there on Upper Beach.
Yep, and we'll have some live music outside for that, along with the vendors.
Now, you also have, for the grown-ups, some apple brandy and some apple pie moonshine. So you have many options when you visit Luminary.
Yeah, I thought it would be wrong to not show at least some of the alcohol versions.
Yeah.
of what we can do. So let me be very clear. These do not have alcohol in them
Exactly.
over here.
Yes.
What we're sampling does not. But these over here do, in fact, have alcohol in them. And this is a staple that we've had since we've opened. It's our apple pie moonshine, very easy to drink. And this is an apple brandy from actually the fermented apples that we distill and age in barrels. So it's very much like a whiskey.
Terrific.
So many options up there at Luminary. If you haven't been, visit them. And again, that Apple Cider Festival coming up on Saturday, the 30th.
Thanks, Joel. It's delicious.
Yeah, as I said, I truly appreciate the
Cheers.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Ladies. Thank you.
We'll be right back.